tonight's episode of Conversations that Suit, we are talking to Hodges Anthony. We're talking about building your own table. Never beg for a place at someone else's when your own gifts and talents can help you create your own.
We keeping it real. Niggas be talking, I hear 'em, don't fear 'em, don't need 'em, my niggas, so fuck how you feel. Sliding and riding, I promise I'm on it, that money, that chopper, get real. Stun if you want, jump if you want, that chopper was this is stutter for real. I be all on it, I live for the moment, the shorties they want and I give it, they flaunt it, they tell me they love me, I tell them they bugging, they loving a nigga be fucking. No limit bout it, I'm bout it, I want it, I get it and make it a profit. Talking that money, cause nigga, I got it. Talking that money, cause nigga, I got it. All I hear niggas be talking, I hear 'em, don't pay 'em no mind. Stay on my grind, chasing my paper, not wasting my time. Nigga, I'm on it, I do it to shine. Get it and ride, nigga, we live. Fuck all them haters, we on it tonight.
That's what I be doing. No, I just need to y'all said that.
From London to the Bay, it's hammer, gold hammer, every hammer, Jordan hammer, and the rest is on its way to festive.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Feel like what?
Thank you, brother.
Feel like what?
Come back to season 2. That's expensive. But it's like, how much?
And we're not going to talk about money right now. We're talking about your own table, and we're not going to talk about how much the table costs, right? Right. Welcome back. It has been very interesting over the last couple of months. We've missed our Wednesday nights. Curtis already asked me about money and what I spend. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to spend the comeback $10 and pay for all you get.
I was all summer, man. I didn't go.
We spent the entire summer with you.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Kicking it with dad. Giants is kicking it with dad. What's going on? But we are here today talking about more positive because we are taking Black Wall Street, South Carolina, and this season we are going to change it to B.Y.O.T. Build your own table. Never beg for a space at someone else's table. Many of us are constantly out there applying for jobs. We are applying for assistance. We're looking for someone to help us kickstart the dreams that we have. But many times the thing that you need to kickstart is that opportunity to build your own table. And that is where we are talking about right now. That is where we're taking your own gifts and your own talents, taking your own talents, taking the words that someone's telling you what to do to build that table. So we're talking about building your own table. And we have our special guest here. And we have building your own table. This is the whole building your own table. This is the whole up himself.
I think at the end of the day, we all kings. Queen, plenty queens out here. But on the chessboard, somebody got to be a pawn. And if you know, that pawn will eventually turn into a king if it make it to that spot. Hold up.
Let's throw that in there right quick. So, go ahead and tell us, man, how you you said something the other night. You got plenty of companies you're invested in. I know you got a few of your own. What made you start? How'd you get started? Go ahead and spill it for us.
Man, really what I do, I sit down and, as a kid growing up, the main things I didn't used to do was listen and read. So I eventually got around some educated brothers, even some, no disrespect, some white men, white folks. And, they was giving me game. And I was eager. I listened. I wanted to learn. I went and educated myself on it instead of just listening. You got to go educate yourself on it too.
Right.
So that's the major steps that I took because it's a lot of knowledge out there, and we're living in the era of knowledge now.
Information age.
Information age, exactly. So what I did was, I just got with those guys. I listened, I tuned in, I zoned myself in, I X'd everything out that needed to be X'd out, and I put full focus in those visions. So once I put full focus in those visions, I asked God for clarity. I asked God, to open up what I need to see. And, God manifested it because I kept pushing for what I wanted to push for.
Right. So when you say you're pushing for what you want to push for, give us a little bit of what you push for and you achieve.
Well, what I pushed for is I had to seek into what I wanted to do. Like, you're a great person out here. You can game me right now. You can say, hey, man, I got this situation going on. All I need is 5,000. Okay, I could be the one to just give you 5,000, or I can be the one to sit up under you and want to learn too. And that's what I do. I sit through it and I learn the situation. Instead of just putting out for money, I like to get into full detail and understanding of what's going on.
Right.
So if I know what's going on, or you know how the white people do it, they'll wait 10 years to get in that position. Us black folks, we like to, crabs in the barrel. We'll cut each other off. So what you got, you'll explain to me, but I'd be quick to want to cut you off because of what you making or what I done heard.
Right.
No, I'm going to sit there. I'm going to play my position. I'm going to soak up what I need to soak up. Then when you ready to pass the baton, it's on me now.
It's amazing how many of us don't realize that first you have to learn to follow before you lead, because you learn. You have to go out and get that information. And people assume that you learning from them is taking from, but like you said, it's a world where we all can eat. So it's not where you're taking from, but you're enhancing.
Think like that, though. They don't think like that.
If you got 2,000 customers and it's one person trying to service 2,000, you're creating a line. But if you have two people and you're able to hit 1,000 each, both of you are eating, and no one's really missing money, because if you can't get to all 2,000, someone's lacking anyway. They're going somewhere. But if you start doing that as a village and everybody owning their talents, and where they're not saying Black businesses don't have good customer services, Black business don't have this. If we stop focusing on the greedy side of it and really get in on the unified side of it, we will build something magnificent, because we are the dollar that's keeping the U.S. running right now. And no one even wants to own that part of it. It's if we pull our money out, the people stop.
Exactly.
So when you are looking at building your own table, coming into the place where every piece of revenue that you have coming in is from your own gifts, hustle, and not just what you do business-wise, but your own investments. How did that look?
Okay, this is how it went. Like, say for instance, my partner, Jose Diamond, he has a helping hand cleaning services. And one day I was at the house, I got like 4 or 5 cars, all of them been in the shop. So I'm just sitting in the house. I ended up getting in the car with him. We rode around Broad River. So I see him jumping out at apartments and stuff. And he handing out his card, trying to get the cleaning services going. Next thing you know, these people hitting him back. So then he made a statement in the car. He like, hey, bro, one thing I know you're not going to do, you're not going to get in these buildings and clean with me. Don't judge a book by its cover, because whatever can make $1
Makes sense.
Makes sense to me.
Right.
I'm not the one to judge. However we gonna get it, we gonna get it. So eventually he picks me up. And he sees my hustle, he sees my grind, and I'm dedicated in helping him, get off the ground. So now I didn't invest no money, but I'm invested now.
You invested that time.
Exactly. So he see how I'm going. He see the effort I'm putting forth, and now he's like, he's going to these people. Now we seeing that they need painters, they need carpet cleaners. So now I know somebody in the back of my mind, brother Sean Green. He got a truck. So I'm like, yo, he got a carpet cleaning truck that he posted for sale. But that's God's work. Because now I seen that listing a couple weeks ago, and I done teamed up with my bro with his business. So I'm like, hey, let's go holler at Sean Green. So me and him go holler at Sean Green. trying to put everything together. Sean Green quoting those prices or however he want to come in. I'm invested because I'm forming that table.
Right.
So now we bring in this carpet cleaning services and pressure washing to it. Now we all connected. That's a table right there. That's been a solid ground table. Because first, I'm gonna investigate who I'm dealing with.
Right.
You got to do that out here.
Research.
You got to do that. You got to do that.
Because that goes back to the earlier saying that I was saying. If I give him $5,000 and there is no research, it don't even matter research. It does matter research, but he can be my best friend. Guess what best friends out here doing? They running off with the $5,000.
Oh, they're stabbing in the back side.
Stabbing in the back.
They're definitely stabbing in the back side.
So,
That's a big piece of a lot when it comes to building your own table. First of all, you also, when it's your table, you determine who sits at it. Now, that doesn't mean the same thing as who eats from it, because you can feed and help anyone, but not everybody can sit there with you. And a part of that is the research, because sometimes this person can be a great friend, but they're not a great business partner. There are people who can be great with numbers, but they're not good with money. So you have to know what your weakness or your opportunities are and what strong points somebody else brings in. Sean Green has a whole bunch of stuff. If he ain't doing carpet cleaning, he's doing he's doing cars. Sean got a clothing line. Sean hustle never stops.
right. Exactly.
If at any time I needed that carpet clean, I call Sean. I'd be like, listen, I'm gonna go pick the kids up from school. Sean, I come back whole house done.
Love his energy.
Yes.
But that's true. But people always put personal in business, and it doesn't mix. And they say it's not. This is business, not personal. It's always personal somewhere.
What is not personal?
No, what I mean is, like, I'm gonna give you an example. What I'm saying, like, we shot ball, right? We shot ball. We all shot ball. I knew I just had to get a ride to the gym. Like, I didn't have to shoot to say I got first, I got second. You know, you did that depending on who's on the gym. But it came to the point where I hit and I had to pick my team. And the buddy who drove to the gym he thought I was supposed to pick him because he drove there. I said, I'm trying to win. You see the list today?
You see winning?
You understand? Like, I'm not trying to get on and play a game or two. This list is good. Such and such is here. Such and such here. It's gonna be some good ball play today. I know I'm gonna get picked up. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm gonna get picked up, but at the same time, I'm trying to win. You took it personal that I was put in the position to say, give me the best team you got to run all day. And when I broke it down to him, he still was a little bitter, but honestly, 4 or 5 years later, he said, bro, I understand what you're saying. Because sometimes just because that's your friend, that's not the person that need to be picked.
That's the part of build your own table that's so different for me, is that we as a people, if we're going to really be honest about building that Black Wall Street, building that build your own table, being honest about what belongs at the table. I always say, I'm a person, Tish laughs at me. She says, business Crystal and real life Crystal are not the same people. I get totally different because I believe, I don't care if the person at Publix that owns Publix likes me. I don't care if the person at Publix or owns Publix comes outside and shakes my hand for buying what I bought. I come into this place to get quality stuff. You give me the quality stuff that I need and you consistently come through with it. That's all I need. If you have a deal and you run with that deal, when it's business, it's business. What are your tasks? What is your expectations? And did I fulfill it? That's that. Now, of course, personally, you got to make sure the person is a quality person to do business with. I would prefer to deal with Walmart when I ain't got no money. I deal with Publix when I do, because I know the quality of stuff and service that I'm getting. But too often we try to mix that, like, I got to like you. I got to know you. You got to do this for me. It's business.
But it's a detriment, honestly, to your business, because if you don't like this person because this person don't like them, you hang out with them, that person may have the best service to take you in over that hump, the obstacle that you need to get to.
You got to make it business related. You got to, in business,
but they're not gonna do it.
So that's where business people come in different. That's where I get where Hodges coming from, in that I don't care if you don't like my friends.
Right.
But if you are a good person that gets what I got to get from you,
right,
then this is a contract in business and we're going to work together. I'm not looking for you to come sit in my house and watch my kids, but I am looking for you to fulfill that contract that we got to deal with. I
get that, but this, go ahead. I'm sorry, bro.
Go ahead, bro.
I want you to say, I want you to go.
I was just going to say, when you put it on the table, a lot of people don't say, this is my business, because they know people out there not going to support it because who owns it. You know what I'm saying? I know I got 2 friends who got clothing lines, and niggas never put their pitch. They never model their own clothes because they know, if they know this is me, I ain't buying it.
And that's true too.
I agree, Jay. Like, business ain't
I'm agreeing with that.
I'm gonna get into this. This is why I use my brothers. Like, I go find purpose-driven, hard living type people. Like, if I bring you to the table and you to the table, I'm gonna ask you, like,
what you bringing to the table?
not necessarily that, what it is you look for in the future, what it is you want.
What are your goals?
What are your goals? Because now I'm getting that reading of you to understand you. So now I know whether to do business with you because you have a purpose that you're living for.
That's right.
You get some people to the table, they don't have a clue.
They just there
because they have no education. They don't. Reading will take you far in this life. A lot of people will jump on this and we'll read this, but it's a lot of stuff in books that has a lot of power and knowledge that we have to get. Like we necessarily have to literally sit down and read these books.
I'm getting an Audible too, y'all. Y'all gotta sit there and read. You can listen to it all day.
But he's right about the purpose side and having somebody who has a dream with it, because some people will ride the wave of the moment because it's the cool thing to do. But when that wave is gone, can you still be there? It's kind of like what's that couple's name on the housing show? They had a whole demolition show. They were making all kinds of money. And then in the midst of it, their relationship fell apart. But at the midst of that, they had to suck that up and make a determination. We're making millions. Flip or flop. Are we going to go on camera and keep doing what we got to do to make what we have to make? Or are we going to let this hissy fit we got behind business flop what we're doing? And they got on camera and they kept on rolling with it and dealt with personal when it was personal and business when it's business. That's a part of, building your own table sounds good when you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm gonna have this dream. I'm gonna go out here and make this money. I'm gonna go out, because initially you don't make a whole lot. It's building it. It comes to that part. A lot of it's investing at first, but many of us think that we're gonna go out there. It's gonna be a quick snatch. It's a crock pot. It's a cooking thing. It's not a microwave, but it does not be a situation where you can go in with emotions and feelings where depending on how you feel today and you shut down. What if the person who owned Walmart or Kmart or Belks or Dillard's or any of these stores, when they didn't feel good, they were closed. And when they felt good, they were open. If they were happy today, business was great. But if they weren't, business was down. That's not how business works.
My thing is this, like I said, I just want you to understand. When you walk down a frozen food section and you want to get a pizza, right? It doesn't stop at the journals, bro. It's the Walmart brand. You see what I'm saying? It's
different ones.
It's different one, but they all got this section. Right. Okay, we go with the ice cream. It's just not vanilla, bro.
It's not Bluebell on.
It might be Moose Tracks. What is it? Or strawberry. It might. But what I'm saying is like we all in the same section, but at the same time, like I'm not in a position to hate on you because we're in the same position. Like people have their preference. You feel what I'm saying? It's people who will throw dirt to, I just don't understand like throwing dirt on somebody else. That if somebody got a preference for you, they throw dirt.
Just the thing, if you got a person who has hate towards you or jealousy, there's a difference. It's called truth over tradition. See, the world that we living in, we live in tradition. So that is a tradition that has been set upon us for us to outlash and put out there. But if you living in truth, how can I hate you? What have you done literally to me for me to hate you? Have you hit me? Have you violated my kids? Have you violated my family? How can I hate you? Because you chasing a buck. Now, when you said earlier, what you bring to the table, that's not necessarily true, because you might have a vision, but you ain't got nothing to bring to the table.
No, the vision is the table. The vision is bringing. That's my value. That's what I'm saying is this. Like, not to cut you off. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this: you have a vision, but you don't have capital, right? He has a venue that has your vision. He don't want to put a capital. He make capital all day, right? She's gonna make sure she hold all of us accountable, right? I know the people. This is the table. We got to understand we're all equal, but at the same time, the percentile, her percentile may be small or not as large. That's not because she's a female, but her whole thing is to hold us accountable, right?
Right.
He's going to make sure that he's going to eat. He's willing to take less because he's smart enough to know, like, that's for the liquor.
Right.
You're smart enough to know, like, I cut you in on this. We just want a percentile of the liquor. Right. What I'm saying is you may have a vision and you'll say, this today's people. I'm gonna wait till I get my bread right. Man, you working at Walmart for $15 an hour. And that's cool. I'm not knocking nobody. But your vision is $100,000. We gotta wait you for 10 years, man. The acts you talk about, they don't broke up. You know what I'm saying? Instead of you saying like, listen, I'm gonna put out
I
less.
got my hand up. I got a question.
I'm gonna put out more just to get less, but I gotta get on.
Right.
That's the mindset. We got a small piece of something is always better than a whole lot of nothing.
Of a chess. That's the purpose of a chessboard. That's why.
I'm sorry, Crystal in the back. Go ahead.
Thank you. I have a question. I just determined why we can't build our own table. I don't like your scenario. Why do I get the small piece?
No, what I'm saying is this, because
Did you really interrupt the conversation for that?
because what I'm saying is that we gotta go off. Like what I'm saying is maybe 25,
A big part of building
25.
your vision is manifestation. And
No,
you just manifested my small.
It may be 25, 20, and 25. And what I'm saying is because she's not gonna be hands-on as much. Her thing is she's micromanaging us. Her thing is just wake up and say, hey, did you do this? Did you do that? That's good, but we gotta stay accountable for people. He got to stay in line. We got to keep his head straight so he can keep the vision alive.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
That goes to
I want the big piece.
that goes to our community, the black community.
Right.
See, when it comes to other groups, they don't live like that. They're not cutting the next man off to get where they need to be. Like I told you earlier, you making that 25,000, I'm making 10,000. I'm trying to figure out a way to cut you out so I can make that 25,000 instead of waiting my turn.
They ain't
Like
be at the table.
the rest of them.
They ain't be at the table.
You get what I'm
They
saying?
can't be at the table.
There's other, so there are like hair stores. They're all over the communities where they might put up 100,000 and it's like 8 of them working in there. And then when they make 100,000, that person takes it and the next person takes it and they open theirs. And then they make 100,000. It's almost like a moment where they make sure that each of them gets it. Are they all the best of friends? Probably not.
Probably
are they
not,
all
cool? But they got a vision at the end. Like
you got to follow that vision,
you
and you have to stick with it to get through it because you're going to have bumps. You're going to have moments that occur. When you're looking at it, though, one thing that I did look at when you sent us the email, I said, damn, Hodges got his hands in almost everything.
I want to break it down why I got it.
But I want you to really break down that because a lot of times we go, I build coolers and I'll focus on these coolers, but sometimes you got to build coolers and you got to invest in water bottles and then you got to invest in this and you put stuff many places. So there's many streams of income. Can you talk to us about the many streams of income?
MSI.
First, you got to strategize. You got to have your game plan written down because you can get lost in that stuff, trying to do it all at one time. Like she said, you can be doing this, you can be doing that. Now, take it for instance. I sent her pictures of my trucking company, 3 box trucks, and I was too caught up into that vision.
Into the trucks.
Right. So now 90% of my time is to those trucks. Like it's taken away from my family. It's taken away from me wanting to go to the gym, work out. So
Sacrifice.
Right. Sacrifice. Which at that table, everybody got to have, sacrificial blood in them.
Oh yeah,
you got to be willing to give up something to get something.
I want to find out who you are first before we start this table. I want to see if you got that sacrifice in you, that purpose driven. But back to what we were saying, like with the trucks and stuff, it's good money, but don't get it misconstrued because you'll jump out there and you'll go broke just that quick. You hear everybody be quick to say, yeah, get a truck, do this, do that. If you ain't studied on getting a truck and what it takes to run that truck,
and all that.
Right, all that work it takes, you're gonna go broke. I have a lot of guys today, they jump out there in that trucking game, and I've been doing trucks since 06, 07.
Yep.
Had
five
18 wheelers with Mike Thompson. And when I learned the game and understood, it's like we so quick to show everybody what we got. Ooh. Instead of learning the game. The first thing we do, I post this business. I just started this. But before that business even take off, you ain't went in there and learned nothing. Now on the back end, on the inside of that body, that heart, that soul, you really dying because that business ain't doing what it was supposed to be doing. Right. So I did that a couple of times.
I did that too.
I did that. I posted and did this and that and the third. But back to the truck. I got the trucks. It was taking up a lot of time.
Never had a hot drink.
The money was up and down. So now I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do. I see what Enterprise is doing. What Enterprise do, they lease out their trucks.
They sure do. So does U-Haul too.
So
U-Haul
I
is
say, you know what? I don't have to. I'm not trying to get in no truck and drive. Now you really make a lot of money getting in that truck yourself, booking your own loads and driving. But you got to upkeep that truck too now. So don't just know
you alone is $2,000 on a good truck.
Right. So I didn't want to get out there and get on that road and push, always gone. So I said, you know what? Let me study what Enterprise doing. I went to Enterprise. I taught Enterprise. So Enterprise say, yeah, you need a maintenance package and this, that, and the third. So I say, you know what? My 3 trucks, I'm going to do the same thing Enterprise doing. Yeah, I'm taking less of money, but all the overhead gone. The maintenance to the truck, all that is gone.
So that's a major gem that a lot of people don't realize. If you have gone out there, had a business, posted your business, that's fine. But the thing of it is, behind the scenes, be researching what it is you want to do. Many of us will get caught up in, but I don't like it. But this is not this, but it's not what I want. You may be a person that likes real estate, but your capital to take off with that real estate might come from stock. So you might go out there and post your stock company, but behind the scenes, research your stocks. Research what your capital builder is. It may not be what you like. You just might be talented in it, but that funds the dream. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to have multiple streams. I kind of call, if you're an entrepreneur, we have a lab. In our lab, there are 3,000 businesses that go on boards and books. There are things that pass and that are failed. The success one is probably that one, but it's 3,000 different things that tried. So it's not always going to be that one idea you got that took off. It's probably a million fails before that one does what it's supposed to do. But you got to keep going. You got to keep trying. You got to keep researching. You're going to learn 16 million different things before it comes together. But if every time it don't work, you fall, it's never going to come because you're not keeping going. You got to keep going. And one part that you just said is, you have all of these different things that you have right now, but you went through that. You had stuff that you posted and everybody was like, oh, congratulations. And then it didn't go nowhere. And then you had stuff you didn't post and you was like, that car y'all like, that's what paid for it. But that's real life with it because you have ups and downs and experiences in different situations because you got to figure out where you get in to fit in that makes you the money that you need to make. I mean, it's multiple.
It's all in the product, in my opinion. I've learned like your name could be good, your face could be good, but it's just some people that's just not going to support you because your name is good, your face is good.
Because they know who you are.
So exactly. So if the product is good, the product is good.
Yeah.
Like, and you always say Walmart and Publix, but I never forget this, man. I was going in Kroger one day. The dude was running out with damn meat like hell. No bag, no buggy. He just hit a heist.
He was gone.
And I remember going there and say, hey, God got the damn meat. They said, oh, man. You understand? Like, man, somebody fool line would have tackled him. Beat the hell out of him. Piggly Wiggly would have tackled him. Beat the hell out of him. But they were saying, like, listen, man, they got it, still it. They understand, like, it's a write-off. So it lets me know that certain businesses hold themselves accountable for doing things properly. You know what I'm saying? Like, when things legit, that's an insurance write-off. I'm not about to go risk my life over some damn meat. You see what I'm saying?
Big a deal too, because you can't do nothing with it if it's not a certain amount that's over. But business-wise, and when you got like the two examples, I always use Publix and Walmart because one's really ridiculous with their service and one's really good. But I use those because at the end of the day, they don't look at the leaf; they look at the forest.
That's basically what I'm saying.
And many of us don't realize that long term when we're talking about this business world that we're looking at. That what's the bigger picture? Like you said, the risk factor, is it worth it?
Yeah.
And you're not looking at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that I don't care if today you didn't call me this morning. At the end of the day, though, the thing that we do builds XYZ with the potential to get to year 10. Then we have a bigger thing to worry about here. But like you said, Hodge, that goes back to your goals and your dreams. What is your plan? What will it take to execute that plan? And then what is the purpose of it? I need this business to pay for these kids' college, but I need this business to pay for this business.
That's what I'm doing.
And that's what you're doing because different businesses pay for different things. Rich Dad, Poor Dad contacts and talks about that a lot. This pays for that and this pays for that. And you go through and you have different things that pay for certain situations. So you might be a person that makes flyers and use the flyer making to pay for the cars, and then on the other end of it, you make videos. Use the videos to pay for the house, and then you might make water bottles and use the water bottles to pay for the podcast. But everything has a purpose to it, and that's where that purpose comes from. Not your life purpose, but what is your point of doing this? Are we going to plan parties for life, or different things? Are we going to go around and do events for days? Are we going to post stuff on Facebook for life? Are we posting on Facebook because the more views that come to somebody's page increases my reels, and my reels are making me money behind the scenes, and my scenes money is paying for the business? What's your purpose? Because if you're not intentional with it, then you're not doing nothing.
There's bigger fans out there.
Yeah.
Like, one thing I can say about South Carolina, it's a lot of money here.
It is.
We don't want to work together because there's too many eyes on the team.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody want this eye or this fashion designer person they want to be. They want to be. Like, if you open a chessboard to them and you push that pawn, guess what? You add another piece to the table. But they're not understanding that. Their focus and vision is,
I want to be the king.
I want to be the king. I want you to salute me. I've never been that type of person. If you really know who I am, if I'm on y'all team right now and you invested nothing because it's your vision. Now, you made all us put up a lump sum of money. Say I put up $10,000. My $10,000 only making $1,000 a month. Guess what? I'm happy.
They're not thinking
I'm
about it, bro.
saluting you.
But they're not thinking like
They're
that,
not
bro.
looking at it that way.
They're not looking at
Her
it like that, bro.
$10,000 because she puts in more work than me is making her $2,000 a month. His $10,000 is making him $2,500 because he going out doing extra stuff. I'm not mad because $10,000 in the bank. What does it do?
It sits and accumulates for the bank, and then kick you back small
And the
pieces.
bank's gonna be mad at you. The bank's gonna be mad at you because you took the $10,000 out because the banks be done made so much money off of your money.
Yeah.
While they giving you a no percentage to your money,
Right.
and it's nothing.
But see, that's no. I'm not to cut you off. I'm agreeing with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's the things that goes on in Columbia. Who you know who give more credit to South Carolina than South Carolina?
Who?
Everybody else. Guess what? They make their money from South Carolina.
Yeah.
We the ones still running around here crazy, warring over money against each other.
And it ain't no real money if they. Metro, I always told y'all, stand for money earned through real organization. If you organize on one goal, everybody can get something because a small piece of something is better than a whole lot of nothing. And nobody's willing to say, I'm gonna sit this one out. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's willing to say, I'm gonna sit this one out. You're better at shooting the shot than me. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, you're not supposed to link with somebody unless they're better in the area that you're lacking in. Like, I don't want to link with someone that's doing the same thing that I do, or unless they're better at that than I am, because I need to learn from them.
If I can't learn from you, there's no point.
And
Right.
if you don't do
Some
nothing
purpose,
else with a
some
business,
drive, some purpose. Like right now, just off of you alone, we can start something right now. I'm gonna be like, bro, if you got a vision right now, I'll come to you with $10,000. And for all the listeners, I don't care if nobody else don't want to join.
I'll give you 10 bands, bro.
I can go find 10 people who got 10 bands right now.
Right,
That's true,
right.
too.
And they're gonna jump on board right now. Because real honesty, there's a lot of people out here with money.
It's a lot of
It
people
is.
out here.
that don't know what to do with it. They really don't know what to do with it. And they're waiting on people who have a vision, whether they get a percentage or not. Like, I joined a course, Tax Lien Wealth Builders. I sent it to her, where we brought properties down in Florida, tax deeds and properties. And they teach you tax lien size of it to where you can invest your money over retirement in the IRAs. But I already invest my money in an IRA because I don't know if you remember Jen Whitaker.
Yeah.
Jen Holly now, that's, with JP Holly, funeral homes and stuff. I got with her. She showed me the IRA game. So I'm like, yo, you can make that kind of money? And I'm like, okay, well, here, I'm putting away. Now, as she says, okay, Florida, the temperatures are always hot there. I invested into somebody who has a lawn care service. So now
they cut your grass year round because it's always hot down there.
Exactly.
Yep.
So the geographics of it. So yeah, bro, I'm gonna give you this. Do this. This is all I need a month. And I don't care because I set that money aside just for it to make this money to be put in that account. So if $800 is going in an IRA off of what he's doing,
that's going bank. So when you go
it's
ahead.
a big one to pay attention to. Just while we're taking this moment for a second, I mean, we're 30 minutes in, but I do want to touch base on, we're giving you the side of building your own table, where it's the advice and the insight of what to do, what to experience, how to handle what you do. But I will always say, and I tell this to Herc a million times a day, because we are very big on this in any business ventures that we touch, get your paperwork in line. Do your proper research for your paperwork. Make sure that if you do have a business, you register your LLC or whatever you decided to be, an S corp or anything else. Register with the state. Make sure you're registered. Make sure you have your articles of incorporation. Make sure you go out and get those taken care of. Make sure you get your EIN. Make sure you talk about and you learn business credit. Make sure you talk about your Duns and Bradstreet number. Make sure you understand a net 30 and a trade line. Make sure that you're going out there and you're getting your business license and you're going downtown and you're getting all of your ducks in a row, because initially it is cool to sell, water bottles on the street and do different things, but are you prepared for that day that it takes off? Whether it does or it does not, are you prepared for that moment? Do you understand what doing business as means? Do you understand when you are consulting with these people, NDAs, to make sure that your stuff is not being discussed? Do you understand trademarks? Make sure you are doing your research. You're getting all the proper papers in line, whether you go through LegalZoom, whether you research yourself what you need to do and you get everything together. Get it all together. Make sure you understand these different banks and what rules they have for a business account, because having one is cute. It's nice. It's wonderful. But how many transactions do I need a month to keep it open? What is the cost for this? Different things like that. Keep those rolling. Where is those cash apps going? Can you look up at the end of the year and tax time, form the documents that you have to have? Because all of that matters. Social media marketing matters. Websites matter. Some business accounts at banks won't let you get a business account unless you have a website. And if you have a website, they're looking for you to have it with certain things, like they may not take Wix. They want WordPress. They want you to have the WooCommerce. They want you to have the secured area to make payments. So you got to have your ducks in order to continue to grow, because today's hundreds can be tomorrow's millions. But are you prepared for that moment?
Y'all think she like this topic?
A lot.
And minority-owned business certification. You know about that there?
Minority-owned business certification.
School is on it, champ.
It's being certified under a tax bracket. Now the government is going to come in and help you with whatever you need to be helped with. So say, for instance, the helping hand services that we do, the cleaning services, it's minority-owned, certified. So now the government will give us calls on contracts. So they do it for every business, business, because it's a tax write-off for the people who bring you on to their services. So
and they have SCORE of the Midlands.
Like a temp service for business? It sounds like
it's not necessarily a temp service.
I mean, just I'm trying to lay a parallel to how people.
What it is just the government putting you in position to work with government resources. So now you're getting government money, government funding, or like, say, for instance, I got a trucking company and I'm, minority-owned business certification. They're going to find me contracts. It's not a temp service. They're going to actually find me contracts for me to run with my trucks and be paid through the government.
So let me ask you this. Now, I heard you talk about your trucking company, and we talk about multiple sources of income. Could you get into detail of how many businesses you have, what they are, and
before you do that, Hodge, 1 second. So there was a comment that just came up from Gary Perkins, and I do want to pay attention to that for a moment. He said that SCORE of Midlands has mentors that will help you for free. So if you go to www.score.org and you're looking for a mentor to help you with the right direction you need to go for your business, that is definitely an option. Now, again, there are branding agencies. I'm one. I know several of them out there that will help you with different aspects of your business. However, when you come across this option that gives you the mentor, which is a massive help, and they're saying that SCORE of the Midlands will help you for free. Hodge, you just gave us information about a
tax situation that will help you with what you need with your business. These are things that we're not talking about someone coming in and charging you $18,000 to build your brand and promise you to get 1 million likes. We're saying that right now in our own community, in our own city, in our own government, there are different processes available for any entrepreneur that will help you with your business. But if you don't take advantage of these opportunities, then we miss them. Then the only one we have to blame is ourselves on that one. So if you are a business owner, a potential business owner, or a dreamer with a vision, it is a good idea to contact SCORE of the Midlands. And what are the details about that tax bracket you just discussed?
They have different ones. It's like depending on what your salary is or what you bring up. So they have different classes that they'll put you in.
And that's the minority tax?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's dope. Before you get into your businesses, Herc got you about, bro. I know you got like 6, you got a few that you invest in.
Mm-hmm.
When you make an investment and the return on investment isn't what you expect, do you just break off people like, listen, I thought it was gonna do this? Or how long do you wait before you be like, listen, I can't keep putting money into this and it's not coming back to me?
If it's a pattern, because you got to understand, some businesses take 5 years to prosper. And then that's when you go do your research, because if I ain't researching, I'm getting beat in the head. That's like years ago, we've been doing parties, T. Owens, shout out to T. Owens, Sterling Page, New Level Entertainment. Remember we was bringing Gucci and all them guys down.
That guy?
back in the day. So it's like, it's going to be situations you lose, but that's the purpose of your money. It's either you're going to find an investment where it's a win-win situation, or you just have to know what you're investing your money into.
Don't worry about it.
How many of us will invest in money in the stock market?
Mine now.
9 times out of 10, a lot of people don't know the stock market, because it's what the stock market does is, once the minorities get cleaned on to what's going, they drop the stock market. They take our money.
Wait for y'all to run.
They put these billionaires in there and say, oh yeah, invest in this right behind me. If you ain't pulling out when he pulling out, you hit. Because our tradition is leave your money in there long term. It's gonna turn. It's gonna make that value. And then what happens? It crashes on us because it's the tradition instead of the truth. That's why we got to get back to the truth of what's going on out here. And just, back to promoting parties and stuff, every party ain't a win-win situation, but you still got to salute the promoters because they're giving us something to do. At the end of the day, they want to see smiles and stuff on
our
faces.
Bro. Not to cut you off. It's been times where my DJ has left with more money than me, and I just left out with my face. And that was cool enough for me. I didn't like it, but at the same time, I understood it. And it's hell. You can put $13,000 into a party, and you tell people everybody's free till 11. Somebody show up at 12:15 with 12 people, and they don't understand why you vex. They don't understand about the 13 grand that you put in, and you're counting every dollar because you're trying to show love. But back to what you're saying, well, I'm just saying every party doesn't make an investment.
I've been through that.
A profit. Every party doesn't make a profit, no matter how much you invest. You can invest good money and have good promotion. If God says it's gonna rain today, people in Columbia don't go out in the rain.
Depending on if your name is good though.
Also, before we go back for a moment, again, I appreciate all of you who are posting a lot of the great things in the comments. If you have any details that you want to update us with, please, I need you to do me a favor. Please email me the details and the links so that I can post them on our Facebook page as well as our individual page. Our email address is conversationsthatsuit@gmail.com. There you go, that loud ice, bro. conversationsthatsuit@gmail.com. There was a comment that we had today regarding businesses will get a tax credit for using your services, and the tax credit is up to $50,000. So when he was talking about the minority tax credit and the different benefits of it, we are certainly going to put that information out there. If you follow me, you want to email me or reach out to me directly, Chris Humphrey on Facebook, CTS Podcast on Instagram. Definitely reach out to me and let me know. I will make sure that we get it posted on our pages as well as our conversation at Suit pages, because the details that we are going to gain, the gems, the take backs, the notes, the information, links where you apply for your own EIN, where you apply for Duns and Bradstreet, what a trade line is, all of these details as we give them, we're going to post them. So it's important to follow so that you will have that information and know how to handle it or who to go to. We'll put score.org on there as well, but we will make sure that you have the details from the show after the show. So if you do have something you posted and you want to send it to me so we can get it out there, it's conversationsthatsuit@gmail.com, and I will definitely get it out there for you. All right, go back. Sorry, you get your eyes good.
All right. Now I'm gonna go breaking down a lot of stuff real quick.
Do that. That's what you're here for.
Hurt one day. I'm in the club, and before I speak on any of this, I'm really a humble guy. Like
He's never claimed to be amount.
I'm not no GOAT. I ain't no this, that, and the third. Because when a lot of people see me, they judge me quickly. Oh, he's stubborn, or he's stuck up, or he got this, or his parents got this and that and the third. That doesn't justify me. Know me first. I'm one of the most meek, humblest persons that you can meet. Like, I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to do what we got to do to make this money.
Word.
Let's get it. And, it was the year, 2004?
2004, 2005.
Yeah, and I seen her in the club. We in the club.
I was really young at that time. They were grown.
Exactly. No, we
were all young at the time.
We were all young.
For real.
So,
they were old. I was young.
2004. I walk in the club. I see her. Her always been an OG to me, big brother to me, from basketball, sports. Y'all certified. Period.
Always been an old man.
Certified. You heard his name.
Let Hodges tell the story.
He's certified. So I'm in main event. I pull up on bro. I reach in my side like this. I pull out a big bag.
What you want to drink, big bro?
What you want to drink, big bro?
Not a damn thing.
The bag had like 40, 50K in it. He was like, yo, I got so much love for this man because he could have robbed me. He could have did anything. Because he way stronger than me. Respect is respect. He's stronger than me.
He gonna ask you later what you
Nah.
If a man is stronger than you and he know what he doing, you beat. Period. So
I don't argue with him.
He didn't do none of that. Pulled me to the
4
side.
a.m. Slim.
He said, look, bro, with what you got going on, you need to brand yourself. So all these years from 2004, I ended up doing the bid and everything, federal bid, state bid. That vision and thought was already implanted in me.
Because he put it down.
Right. I just didn't know how to put it to use because I wasn't a listener or a thinker at the time. But he had already implanted it in me. So now it's like I got point guard vision. I got tunnel vision. When he's telling me to brand myself, it's rewinding in my mind constantly. How can I brand myself? Necessarily, branding myself don't mean it's got to be Anthony Express or Hodges Lodge or this, that, and the third. Now you can brand yourself through people.
True.
And work the process. And that's what I'm doing out here. When he put that out, when he implanted that in me, that's what made me the man I am today. Quote unquote, my daddy made me the man I am today because he talked about credit my whole life. Although he wasn't around as much as he wanted to be because the military took him away. But what didn't take him away, he was stationed somewhere else. But he always said, never let nobody mess your credit up. I'm going to build your credit. Right now, my credit score is 815. He said, I'm going to build your credit to where you'll have no problems in this world. So everybody look at me, they be like, hey, yo, Hodge went and caught this and that and the third. Yo, Hodge went and bought. Hodge ain't buy that. Hodge credit got that. So first of all, let's correct this.
No, OPM, other people's money, bro.
Let's correct the truth. Let's correct this.
Hodge said that be prop money.
This is the first thing y'all say. Hodge got drug money. Hodge got parent money. No, Hodge got good credit. Yep. So I can move how I want to move out here. You gotta build your credit. So I'm gonna start my credit up. We had houses in Atlanta. Even when I got out of prison, I went to Navy Federal. What's the other one right here? Wells Fargo. I took out $5,000 loans. In 10 months, I paid them their money back with their own money. It's just that simple.
That's why you were the perfect
discipline.
person for B.Y.O.T, because many people go through what you went through.
Mhm.
And when they come out, the conversation is nobody will give me this. Nobody will give me that. Nobody will do this. They won't do this because I got this history of this system. You didn't look at that. You
Right.
came out and you took whatever was downloaded into you prior and took off with it. There are people who don't have a history, don't have a situation, don't have a story, that still don't have the courage, strength, or knowledge to take off. You can be a great skilled basketball player, but if you don't have the IQ, you're not going to be as good as you could be on the court. That's the same thing in business. You can be talented in everything that you do, but if you don't have a business IQ,
right,
it's a different ball game. And it's hard to say, well, they've blocked black people, they've done this, they've done a whole lot of things to us as a people. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
We've seen it historically. Tradition has done
killing
everything. It's made us passive aggressive. It's limited us. We build stuff, they blow it up. We've had all that happen. But the reality of it is there are people with your IQ that will take the bricks thrown at them and go build a mansion with it. And, people did watch you. You did come out, but you didn't sit there and be like, dang, nobody want to give me this. You came out and was like, but I got this and I'm doing that.
And I was broke when I came out. T. Owens came and brought me socks, underwear.
Shouts out to T. Owens.
I was broke.
Turkey Drive, we on the way.
My homeboy Jose, who got the helping hand cleaning service.
Shouts out to Jose again.
He gave me $500. And I just went from there. I game plan. I sat down. I strategized. I wrote everything down. And our brain is more than this computer. But this computer beats us because it makes us lazy.
Right.
It programs what we wanted to program. Right. It programs what we wanted to program. It already know what ad to put up on the phone for us, because they already know how we
feel and how we think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's to make us lazy.
And that's why we had to, when we knew we were bringing him in, we knew that this was the kickoff for Build Your Own Table. And the reason why he was a kickoff for Build Your Own Table was the world wasn't going to give him the chance that he had to get. He had to go get it himself. He had no choice but to build a table.
No excuses, what we say.
No excuses. And that's something that we all have. We have lives, we have situations. You have kids, you have a family. But even with everything, sometimes you got to give up that first 5 years, that couple of years to put in, so that when the future comes, generations have what they need, have what they're supposed to do, because what you've learned, you're going to instill into your kids. And that's going to keep going. Many of us don't understand the importance of taking what you know and instilling it into your children and then watching it manifest. But that sacrifice is real, because that same 2 hours we spend showing up for events and parties is the same 2 hours we can spend, like you said, calling enterprise or learning how to do things for your business. That same time that you can go to bed or you can do different things, the same time you can get up and you can read a book or you can research. And a lot of people don't understand that time you invest in doing the things you want to do, you can take that same time back and do what you got to do. But if you're not willing to work,
right,
you're not going to come out with the win either.
It's 24 hours in a day. Go on your phone and calculate how many hours you put in on your phone a day.
Oh, your phone will tell you. It's that
exactly.
Smart. Your
So
phone
out
will
of
tell you how
those
much screen
24
time you got.
hours, I take at least 30 minutes to an hour, and I get on my my tax lien wealth builders. And that program that I have, me and my partner, what it does is it shows you every property in the United States. So now me and him got 4 properties down there in Florida.
Not even in South Carolina.
And she seen it. It was $7,500 for an acre. And guess what? We researched that area before we bought that.
Right.
So now that we researched that area, it's an upcoming area. It's growing.
7,500 an acre. One of the conversations we had in the last season was that, and we had it on the Get Hooked podcast, was that everybody's looking to say where I can buy land at in Colombia.
You don't have to just look in Colombia.
You don't have to just get money in Colombia because you're in Colombia.
That's why I was saying you got a bigger fan base.
You got to,
don't just think Colombia is your fan base. Because this water bottle, you can get online and sell this to a whole nother fan base. Go ahead, my bad, bro.
No, you good. I was just with the land thing. I was telling my brother the other day, like, bro, I'm gonna come out there and get some land like you did in Blackstone. Nigga, go to Ridgeway. Yeah. Nigga, think, you know how much land is up for in Ridgeway right now?
Winsboro, Fairfield County,
that far, but it's gonna take land is over there.
But it's spread. If you're smart enough to realize 20 years, we'll be knocking on their door.
Exactly.
Saying we're in a subdivision.
Another thing we gotta do, black people, get off of instant gratification.
Exactly.
Put in the time.
It's hard with their phone, bro.
They
don't understand it. It's phone.
What I'm saying is you just said in 20 years, you're gonna be knocking on their door. Nobody wants to wait 20 years. But in 20 years, nigga, when you come knocking on my door, I own
that's true. That's true. Okay, let me break it down. Let me break it down to everybody out there. And I'm speaking for myself. Remember when you went in high school and somebody that was in ROTC said, I'm going into the military, I'm going to do 20 years.
Oh my God, I hate that.
He be like, 20 years?
20 years?
What the hell? You look on Facebook now,
They retired.
They retired. Their passport is run over. Step the hell over. The government paying for this, and you realize, like, you know what? You was on to something. And you can still live your life. But what I'm saying is, like,
not only was he on to something, or he or she, they try to tell you. And we was like, nigga, not 20 years.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, when we say a lot of things that so cliche, it's just like life is short. 20 years, like high school, it seemed like it was like 15 years ago. You see what I'm saying? But that's not the case here. But that person is invested in everything. And I know we talking about that, but I really want you to elaborate on your businesses. I asked you that question a while back. We started skating around. I want to bring it back to that because you had to do a lot of things. I remember how your movements were when you were younger. You will, like you say, we could be on the court, and I could be like, bro, I'm back door. You'd be like, I want to throw the bounce pass. Like, I'm above the rim, throw the log. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
that like it was yesterday.
You feel what I'm saying? So my whole thing is like, I'm seeing your aura, I'm seeing your energy now, and it's calmer. It's more secure. It's you understand what your next movement is. How do you come to that, and how did that help you get into these businesses that you're about to tell us that you got?
At the end of the day, I can have $1 million, but we all ordinary people. That $1 million makes, I'm no different from you. I got to see God the same way you got to see him. I got to be judged the same way you got to be judged. I got to be buried the same way you got to be buried. Whether my ashes in the ocean or if we going in the ground, whatever you want to name. Whatever you want to name, it's all the same. At the end of the day, I know several millionaires, and they tell me all the time, whatever game plan you got, I'm going to back you up. So there's one millionaire tell me, he owns a Camry, 2002 Camry. That's the only car he owns. He got 15 cars in his driveway and garage.
And he only
owned one, a 2002 Camry. You know why? He said the key word. What did you say? What's wrong with our race?
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification. So I show a BMW to Colombia because it's instant gratification. The whole time he has a Lamborghini that's being leased. The reason why? Because if anything ever happens, he can just turn the car right back in. Maintenance is taken care of, and he gets out of a payment. The whole time I'm making this long jeopardy payment on this car that I want to show the world I own. Instant gratification.
Right.
That's tradition.
That is tradition.
We are slaves to tradition.
So you saying we got to shift our paradigm from our whole aura. I mean, I understand you got to shift your mindset, but what I'm saying is like it's hard for people to shift their mindset for something they got to sacrifice for 3 years to see a process prosper, where you could get a post for 3 hours and get 400 likes. Like, I really just want attention. So you see how we differentiate ourselves? Some people want attention and some people want recognition. Now, the recognition is good because if I'm promoting properly, I'm going to get it.
Right.
Attention means I'm willing to sell my soul to get the like.
And I feel you because recognition means your name is good.
Yes.
What's I tell you all the time, my name
is my name. You live by that.
I live by that
all the time.
If my name is on something, I want people to know, oh, that shit gonna be good all day long.
Shout out to 3E Vision. That's his name. That's his business. That's his thing.
And the key with that is we cannot hate on what's going on with those people.
How am I playing hate when I'm the one to play?
We cannot hate or discriminate because that's what's called. You got some that's stuck in lost tribes.
It's called entrapment, bro.
Yeah,
the proper word for that is
some who are
entrapment.
stuck in that. They really are stuck in that because I'm trying to prove to the people. Now on his backside, that's why so much stress, distress, and all this is going on because you're trying to uplive to an image that you want people to idolize, and God ain't going for that.
Sure is not.
That's why you got all this turmoil burning in your soul,
right?
Because you trying to live to that image that you want everybody to idolize.
And when you building your own table, you can't live up to that image.
You're not gonna do it.
Well, you're not going to reach it because we serve at the end of the day. He's right about spiritual. We serve a jealous God. God is not going to build you to be an idol.
You can't be.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't want to
serve.
You gotta. Excuse me, vulgarity of this. You gotta taste shit to appreciate sugar. You understand? You gotta taste shit to appreciate sugar. You gotta understand those nights you cried to God and said, "I'm gonna do this if you only help me." Remember when you used to get drunk? You said, "God, if you just help me get through this,
I won't drink no more.
I won't drink no more." And you
swear,
everybody bargain with God. You ever look at God and say, "I swear to God, I swear to drunk I ain't God." I swear to drunk I ain't God. But what I'm saying is, when you talk to God, you mean it in a moment. When you carry that over day after day, time after time, you getting up, whether you exercising, whether you're getting up in the cold, shoving snow, whatever. What I'm saying is the sacrifice. That's what you appreciate, because what we're showing in front has nothing to do with what we did in the back. And that's where I think our culture, our community, and our people need to understand, like, yo, we got to really sit down and come together and say, I'm going to take less so we can gain more. And I always say, with like the riots back in the day when they said we going to march for this, they knew they weren't going to work tomorrow. They knew they was going to get rocks inside the head.
Right.
What'd you hear girls say today? I'm not messing up my lashes. Dude said I ain't messing up my Jordans. So you're not down for the cause. So what I'm saying is, when you sacrifice everything, and I heard you say you had to get focused earlier. That means you had to cut off the world, because I understand it. You had to cut off everything you thought was right and change your paradigm and reprogram yourself. For the third time, brother, I want to know, how did your mind shift from the young curly haired brother just talking shit on the court to the calm brother that understood business and those business that transpired?
A quick first step
from your transition.
Education.
He said it. He did say it though.
You
He said it.
But I want to go into his business. How he got
so
that?
basically,
One business paid for another business. He got a boat company, but we heard about a truck company. You know, he's an investor. We heard about the truck company.
Just name them off.
We run the boats. Actually, the boat.
We run the boats. If you're in the lake, I just got him.
The boat is the boat. All right, we're gonna use real terminology. The boat is a liability / asset. I really got it for my family, but at the end of the day, the boat can pay itself off.
For your
I got
family.
the boat off my credit.
Hold on. Let's listen. Hold on, no, listen. I asked him, but listen.
But that was a quick gem right there.
Thank you. What I'm saying is, listen what the man said. He said, listen, when I asked y'all to get on the boat, I need y'all to get on the boat because it's planned for my family to enjoy the boat. But honestly, I ain't pay for the boat because my credit got the boat. So if everybody acting accordingly, we can all walk away happy
on this boat.
Dear America, let me tell you about Herc Ricks. He's going to ask you a question like Crystal.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be like, wait a minute.
Because that was smooth.
Right.
But we want to finish the rest of them.
But
The boat.
He got a piece of Pittsburgh
still
still
a liability / asset because
let him talk in chunks.
at the end of the day, we can enjoy ourselves, but it can also pay itself off. Now, with the boat, they treat it like a house note. They take you out to 10 to 15 year term. So your payments would be $500 a month to $400 a month, depending on what you put down. I only put $500 down, but the quote unquote, everybody gonna say, boy, Hodges done cashed out for a new boat because the tradition, the perception.
Because the idea is that the only way that we can have anything is it's got to be drug money. It's got to be a problem situation.
Herc, not about me, but I put the pool in the backyard. I'm like, he got money. And what I tell niggas, I ain't got no money. I learned how to manage money and my credit. Nigga,
he got a pool in his backyard.
But no, but what I'm like, how I
biggest
said,
thing.
Anybody with a pool in the
Credit.
backyard
my
has money.
credit was
That's
serious.
rich people stuff.
My dad, see what I'm saying? Like you said, that's a perception right there. But nigga,
When
that's
the
what
biggest
it
thing
is.
you said, and I was going to hit this
8-foot pool.
is
Not your typical 4 foot.
Goddamn
It's
more than
money
20.
management.
Money management. I know how to
A lot of
manage
these folks
money.
don't know how to manage money. So when I mess my
I know
money
how to
up,
manage money.
I want to cut you out so I can get a piece of a pie. But I ain't even thinking about a family you got to take care of. I ain't thinking about none of that. I just
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification.
I want that
see
moment.
me and him. I want the nice J's.
Can't have
I
this
want
sometimes.
the bling bling. I want all that. And I can't knock nobody who's doing that because I went through that era. Way back in 04,
But
02.
and I appreciate you saying you went through the era way back in 04, 02. We're talking about 40-year-old men
Right.
in 2022.
But
Still
he
going
made
through
a
this
good
crisis.
thing when he talked about tradition. So here's a tradition. He just said too, if you go back and take everything Hodges has said from the beginning of the show to the end, when he first came in, he said research. He said education. He said watching who you have at the table with you. He said going through and making sure that this person who you're rocking with has a purpose. He said taking the information that somebody gave you, and although life may knock you into a different situation, while you were sitting and waiting for that storm to pass, you are reprocessing and re-downloading what they said over and over again. He also said his dad taught him about credit all his life.
But that's generation.
That's tradition. So if
And
you're
tradition.
if you come from a family,
Truth over tradition.
truth over tradition. So truth
My
over
credit was
tradition.
messed up now. Don't get it twisted.
I'm not saying that.
My dad taught me about it, like she said. But I had to reach out to Alfonso Drill. Shouts out to Alfonso
Shouts
Drill.
out to Fonzo.
But
Shouts out to
people,
Fonzo.
I can call him right now. And
he'll answer the phone. But the people who do what you do, people who know credit, aren't scared of it.
Fonzo's
So
a hustler,
you
too.
can
Shouts
look
out to
up
Fonzo.
and see, oh shoot, it's a 520. But because you know the skills of fixing it, you know that 520 won't last but a few months because it take a few months to flip that thing and do what you got to do. If you know the credit formula, you can flip it and work it. But if you know how to work it, you make it work for you. What I was telling him just now, and that's the biggest piece of it, is that I don't care what life did to you, whether you had kids, whether you was in the store, whether you took $45,000 and threw it up in the air and walked away from it and let everybody just scrounge for it. The reality is,
in the strip club, and I hate I ever did that because if I would have saved all that money, like Hurt was telling me, brand myself,
it'll move you different.
Right.
The reality is, though, it wasn't the moment that made you, it was the mental that did. And many of us don't understand the mental is powerful. It's downloaded. So the stuff that we as parents, we think these kids ain't listening. We think these kids don't pay us no attention. But the reality is, my child is sitting at home right now on her second client doing lashes right now because she watches me run around and do what I'm doing. So they pay you attention and they watch you. And that's a big piece of it. So when you say, how did the young man in him become the 40-year-old calm man? That's because what he is today has always been in him.
No, I mean, you were who you were before you got here. But what I'm saying is, like, some people get lost. Some people get lost. That's Jay-Z. You were who you were before you got here.
I got lost. But in the midst of me getting lost, guess what? I hurt myself.
Right.
Because instant gratification. If I'm trying to make him happy,
I had to have it.
And he's only happy for a moment, but I'm busting my tail and losing everything to make these folks happy.
It ain't doing nothing.
But it also goes back to being
do that,
biblical.
though,
if you train a child up right, they're going to return back to it. I don't care what road you went off on. At the end of the day, whether you took Decker, Park Lane, Two Notch, Broad River, or wherever, if you were meant to get to Killian, you got there because you knew the roadmap to do it. As parents, it is important for us. And right now, for us as parents, even though we talked about the phones and being in them, we have no excuse, because everything that we need to be able to spread down to these kids is right at our fingertips every day, just like we post and watch everything.
But we can't because the parents are caught up in instant gratification, sis. Because the people who didn't get the attention at 23 are getting at 43 and they can't let it go.
And so that's a big piece of it. If you want to build your own table, we're not in the generation where you got to look at Encyclopedia Britannica that your grandma got on the shelf. We are at the generation right now. We don't have to go to the library anymore. It's right there in our phone. So at the same time, when we're sitting there and the whole family is down like this for the day, have that conversation with your children. When we grew up in an era where your parents say, get out my wallets and mind your business, but have that discussion with your kids. What are you doing? Build a business.
Did it work? No, it failed. What you gonna do? Start another one? Well, how do you do that? I'm online with the government getting this done. I'm going out filing for this. I'm taking this one. I'm gonna rebrand my business.
How do we replace that with twerking and 1,300 likes?
Because if twerking at 1,300
No.
likes makes you $1 a reel,
what
then
I'm
do
saying
it.
is your jewels that you just dropped, someone who could drop their kid could give you $1,300 a month. And somebody say that's peanuts, but $1,300 a month for 12 years that's going to your kid and the vision is crazy. But
It's gonna be crazy.
Can we equate that with 1,300 likes for that week?
Right
like that's
now,
how can we balance that?
Because at the
that's
reality is what we do right now is we like to demonize certain things.
So you want to build your table off of the 1,300, not the 1,300 likes.
I know that we said recognition and attention.
What I'm saying, bro, is the topic of this conversation is build your own table. Like Hodge said, research the niggas that you fucking with. If the motherfucker wants the 1,300 likes over the $1,300, you can't sit at this table, bro.
Yeah, he means that. Ain't got aggressive.
Some of that
ain't got aggressive.
Is a reality is you gotta also stop demonizing everything, because here's the reality of sometimes too. Our mindsets are different. There is things that we're making. There are millionaires right now doing something that somebody told them 15 years ago, put that shit down. It's not going to go nowhere with it. Yeah. So that's a reality that we have to stop. You have to stop saying, well, your mama likes twerking, your mama likes likes, because in reality right now, Facebook is reaching out to niggas. And if your reels are making money, they're getting money.
Why are you talking
so
about,
that reality earlier, is you go that with it. And I'm saying that to say there's a lot of things that goes around with it.
You told me this today when I went inside with the building.
Another thing, because we focus too much on the hate.
We focus too much on the hate and the problem.
It's not winning.
It's a reality that there are things today that don't make sense to one generation that will make millionaires out of another. Bitcoin killed a lot of people when it came to money, but it produced a hell of a lot more black millionaires than we like to admit right now. So there were people who looked at Subway 15 years ago and were like, I'd rather that foot-long sub than those 3 Bitcoins you're giving me, until that Bitcoin was $56,000 per coin later. The reality of it is we first of all have to stop shooting shit down that people are doing, thinking that it doesn't make sense to us. Computers didn't make sense to people in the 70s, which is why you got a generation full of people right now that can't start up a computer.
Okay.
And they're going to die out.
Okay, let me ask you this, not to cut it off, and this is totally off the grid. Okay, what do you think about the comments of Kanye? Because I'm gonna tell you what I think. No, before y'all chime in. Before you chime in, I'm just saying.
The George Floyd comments? I'm not sure what comment we talking about.
I don't like the George Floyd comments.
So which comments from Kanye
I'm talking about his overall presence. Like, I don't agree with the White Lives Matter. We know that. That's a given, like Russell Simmons said. But what I'm saying is Kanye, the person, for one thing, has always been upfront and honest, regardless, good or bad. Okay,
He's been who he is.
He's been who he is.
He's been who he is.
It's hard to do that and keep that platform that everybody else is striving for. Now, with that said, if we have to let our income be equate to our vision, Kanye has did that. He's a billionaire. He talks shit. He don't apologize for nothing, bro. I'm talking about, it's a lot of people. Janet Jackson apologized for her wardrobe malfunction. Kanye,
and it wasn't their fault.
But there's a world.
But I'm
about
saying
that.
is like,
no, that's what you're saying.
For somebody that's being honest, that's brutally honest, to be judged in this world.
But that's the problem where, so here's what you just said right now. We went through all these different things. People make their millions how they make them. First of all, one of the biggest things is I don't care how rich you are, it don't make you happy. Because Robin Williams was a comedian that killed himself.
No, bro said it earlier.
Life happens. But on the same token, it's a reality that you can have a skill and have a gift and work hard at it. Because Kanye also talks about, even though he says crazy shit online, he also talks about in one of his documentaries that one night he was sitting in his house and Little Kim and someone called him and said they needed him to make a beat and he did not have enough money for a taxi. So the brother ran 2 miles to get to them to do that beat that night, which means he got up and sacrificed. He could have said,
say the word.
It's a sacrifice.
I'm going to tell y'all something, man.
That's why I really want you to know.
While I was behind bars, I took anger management 3-4 times classes, and I'm still working on my anger management. But at the end of the day, when they taught you in anger management, they taught you have to think for the next person. So if I'm in a situation with you, I don't know what personally went on, what happened in your life.
Right.
So now when we get into a fight, you could take all that aggression out on me.
Displacement of anger.
And destroy me. So I have to think for the next person. So in the process, I'm thinking for Kanye. Kanye lost his mom.
Right.
Kanye needs love right now. So I can't judge him. I don't agree with what he's saying.
Okay.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying, bro.
As a loving person, he has to be grabbed. Somebody has to pull him in. And
Thank you. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
We love you, bro.
Yeah,
he never had the power. He's him, bro. He's him.
He's him. He's unapologetically him. But the example he just gave, I don't know if I can fully agree with it, and it's okay for us to agree to disagree.
I disagree.
No. I'm talking about because I know cats who lost their mom and they ain't went off the deep end like this one.
But they didn't have the pressure, Kanye. They didn't have the pressure, Kanye.
Oh, no. They don't have the pressure of the world, but you got pressure.
That's
right.
Kanye stuff a little bit different.
Had to step up and be something they weren't ready to be. But you know what? When I woke up this morning, I have to be this now.
But it's different for different people.
Everybody's feelings is different.
Everybody's feelings is different. And how you process is different because there's a lot of people walking around here as parents right now that have lost their children and they continue on day by day. And there are parents who lost their children and lost their mind. Like Kanye said, well, he was one of the other people said in the song, but he said, lost my mama, lost my mind.
Yes.
And then that really happened. And it really does occur because grief hits people different. And if you don't have that stable grounding with Jesus, or you don't have that grounding, it makes a difference. And he has that. He's missing that moment. But one thing we also can grind is that, truth be told, hustle doesn't matter when it comes to spirituality, because Kanye is really in all kind of places, but he's a billionaire. You still have to find that way where you still have to hustle, you still have to sacrifice, you still have to build your own table, because he did
and I'm not saying, and I don't want y'all to think because he's a billionaire it justifies his actions. So I just want to say that.
Where the heck did he come from?
No, you say he's a billionaire.
But I want to say this to the people.
We still building our own table.
I want to say this to the people.
He went into the Kanye.
Back to building our own table though.
But Kanye built his table. That's what I'm saying. And he stand on truth. He stand on truth.
My lady. And you can at her at Lash.
He used the show to get out the doghouse. God damn it. He used the show to get out the doghouse. Go ahead, shout out, bro.
Shout out at Lash.
Jesus.
Let her in. Brow_Columbia. They do lashes, eyebrows, they do everything. So respects to her. When we first got together and everything, you know, I was telling her about life. I was preaching to her about credit. Now her credit score was like 400. So I was like,
you putting out there like that, bro?
Yeah, hold on. First of all, before you say that, he said was.
Yeah,
that's the key term in that statement.
You just could have said low.
I'm
Go
going
ahead.
to put her out there like that because I'm going to show you her drive, her purpose,
her growth,
her grind.
Right.
It's a 400. She got her own money now. She had her own money when I met her. So I said, hey, we got to get that credit score up. So we ran through a couple people. Now it's people out there who does credit, fix credit, and all that stuff. Credit repair. Ebony Diamond, check her out. Credit repair, and you know,
shouts out to Ebony Diamond.
You can go through these people, and you know, if your situation works through them, fine. If it don't, which my lady's situation, we went through like 3 people where she's cashing these folks out herself, and I'm talking about $1,000 here, $1,000 there. I said, you know what? The people say, all right, this is going to work. So the stuff comes off for a month. Then it goes
come
back
right back. Yeah.
So I say, you know what? I'm going to give you that back. Boom. I gave her money back because those are the people I introduced her to. So I say, you know what, babe? Do it this way. Pay it out your pocket. Call these people, set something up. You can arrange things with these people. They'll lower the payment. They'll reopen the payment.
Settlement.
They'll take a settlement. Now you tell them to put that on your credit to have it as open as you're paying on it if you're not going to make the whole payment. So it builds your credit back up. So she ended up paying everything off and she just listened to everything I said. So we go in the store. She wants a vehicle. The man say, ma'am, your credit score is too low. So we ended up leaving. I say, don't worry. God going to handle everything. Man, that man was desperate to get $500. She put down $500 on that Jeep y'all see us riding in. So he called us back because we told him what hadn't happened with the situation. We was like, trust the process. Her credit score gonna be this in 6 months. He called us back that same day. So we came back the next day. She put the $500 down for her vehicle with a 400 credit score. So can't nobody never tell me nothing can happen, because things can't happen in this world. And within those 6 months, her credit score shot up to like a 700. Boom, because she was listening to everything I said. Like right now, if you know somebody who got a low credit score, I can put them on my credit card, and that'll boost them up.
And that'll
100
boost
points.
them up.
Yeah,
Right.
60, 70 points, just like that. You got to know how to work this credit stuff, and you got to get in it ASAP.
And people say credit's not important. I hear what you're saying, but yes, the fuck. Listen,
credit is everything.
If I got an 815 credit score, that's $400,000
easy.
I have $25 in my bank account, but an 815 is $400,000.
And I don't even have to produce no papers. I tell the bank, this is what I told the bank before I even started my trucking company. They said, what you got going on? Oh yeah, I make $1,000 a week off a truck. You do? Oh, well, you're good. $5,000. Now I just paid them back with their own money.
But the idea that you made just now too is that many of us don't pay attention, like you said. So I'm a person that thinks full circle. Going back full circle, you talked about what people bring to the table matters to you. He just sat there and said she came to him with this score, but she had this hustle and she had this capital, because cash is king.
But that's how she got the cake.
I know, right? Cash is king. But here's where 2 and 2 come together and make 4. So what she was missing, he came in and worked her through that moment. Now they're both running around here with damn near SAT score of 1,600, and it goes and they grow and they move in those different ways. So we say that to say many times you don't look at the potential of what you have. You might see a foreclosed home. You might see a table that somebody's already had. You might see something and you're like, I want mine's new, instant gratification. I want it to look like this. But if you put in the work from a relationship to a situation, I'm not saying be super saver hole, but what I am saying is look at what people are bringing and their potential and what you could grow and become together, whether it be friendships, whether it be romanceships, whether it be siblings, whatever it is. Look at the benefits of what you have around you and how you build
saving.
from it.
If she's contributing, I'm super saving.
No, that's a team. That's a team, though.
I mean,
that's a team.
We created that table. I'm super saving.
Pippen and Jordan, Shaq.
That's a team, man. Like
even with her business, when she goes out of town and promote these classes to show these, students how to do lashes and everything, I'm right there. I'm setting up tables. I'm hustling.
It's a team and it's a hustle. And a lot of that we don't realize is it's work. It's constant work. You're constantly on the move. If you're not willing to do certain things, if you're not willing to sacrifice, if you're not willing to miss out on not being available to everybody, if you're not willing to miss the parties, if you're not willing to miss being in the light, if you're not willing to miss people pleasing, because that's a killer too, you are never going to get yourself to where you got to take care of you. One of the things we recently read and we talked about in our ladies group chat is that you have to make sure your cup is filled. And then you give people the overflow, the ladies one. So you overflow, you give people what you have from the overflow, but you got to make sure you're full. We're not taking care of ourselves because we're so busy getting instant gratification from helping and being there for others. Tonight was one of those nights where we went through everything. Just to recap what we discussed about what you have to do is get your paperwork in order. Make sure you're getting registered with the state. Make sure you're getting your EINs. Make sure you're getting your understanding business credit. Make sure you're utilizing that business credit too, because business credit is important as personal credit because it can help you build and grow as well.
It's
not
better.
Assume it is better.
Bigger check.
It is a bigger check, but you got to know your business credit because you can do things and not have it tied to your name if you have to. On that same token, understand the different levels. Everybody don't have to have an LLC. Some people have an S Corp. Some people have a nonprofit. What are you doing? And then get the right paperwork for what you're doing. The other part of it is research what you're doing. You may have people that you can work with, but everybody might not need to be family. They just might need to be the flyer person, the scholarship person, the grant person,
know your
the
personnel.
money person.
Know your personnel.
Know your personnel. Build your table, people.
And timekeeper.
Shout out to Demetrius Green. He's on Facebook, Demetrius Green. He wrote a book called 9 to 5 for the people who work 9 to 5s. He gives you,
how to maximize it.
Exactly. Understanding how to be stable, how to survive. Check his book out, man. I read it. It's good. He implements what you need to know for the 9 to 5 people because everybody is not fit for the
From 9 to
business
5, yeah.
lifestyle.
In
You
the
know what I'm
business.
And
saying?
it's nothing wrong with it as well.
Right.
You have to know what you want
got
to
to know
do
what you want to do.
and what works for you. You have to research. You have to take the information that people are passing and they're giving to you, the insight and the knowledge. Know what direction to take and go. Look at the grants, look at the tax credits, look at the tax breaks. But it's all a learning experience. If you want to run and do, like he said, you want to do trucks, then find a company that you want to emulate and learn from them. It's okay to ask. If you see a person
have
who
to
does
ask.
parties
You have
and you
to
want to
ask.
learn from them, it's okay to ask. When someone comes to you to learn from you and they want to do exactly what you're doing, it is okay if they're learning to do what you do to go operate in that lane, because that just means more opportunity for people. It does not mean they're taken from you. It means it's growing that world. So it's a lot of different pieces to business that we cover tonight, but you cannot focus on the negative. You have to focus on the positive. It is okay to each one teach one and help somebody else grow.
Yes.
Even if they're doing what you're doing. Credit is great. Cash is king. It's a lot of different things that we mentioned for
about
you.
the credit, right? The reason why I love other people money is because
We all love people money.
Sean Green, I'm gonna work with him on cars. I got another guy that I was working with on cars. I got a old Jamaican. Matter of fact, his son is Trinidad James. That we buy cars and he fix them up and we sell them. I use other people money because at the end of the day, I got 100,000 on credit cards. I'm sliding, bam. It's $100 fee for me to pay back every month.
Right.
But I'm tripling, quadrupling my payment easy. And I'm building credit as it goes.
Build your credit.
There's so
build
many
your
different
credit.
things.
Build your credit.
Go ahead, Ian.
I want you to go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead, Hurt.
I want you to understand, like, as a leader, you got to understand your role. You're gonna be the first to lose and the last to win, and you got to be okay with that.
What I want to give is, don't hate on somebody because Hodge came on here, gave us great gems. That nigga dropped 15 names tonight.
Yes,
he gave everybody love. He plugged everybody because he wants to see everybody win.
Yeah,
Spread love the Metro way. But before we go, we are a music podcast. Hodge,
I gotta give
top
Ian,
5.
I gotta give Ian my shout out, man. When I was a young boy, man, me and Ian's brother Dante, we was like super tough in football, man. Just sports, period. So one day we out chilling somewhere, and it was somebody trying to fight me and Dante, and Ian just jumped up like, "Hey, yo, ain't nobody finna mess with these two. Them my little brothers." So if y'all don't know the relationship with me and him, man, that's my big brother over there, man. He jumped 10 toes down in front of us like, yeah, ain't nobody finna touch them. He can tell y'all that story.
The level of protection that comes from these two is unimaginable.
But like I said, before we go, Hodge, you need to know your top 5.
Top 5 rappers all time.
You can pick all time. You can. Please don't pick none of these new kids, man.
If you want to pick a new boy, listen.
I also wanted to say that too, but I'll get on the next episode, y'all.
It's just it's really too much to pick a top 5, man, because it's like you got guys who spit, real gems back then, like Rakim.
Don't just name the obvious. Now give us yours.
Like Pop,
Let
Biggie.
that man give his numbers.
Biggie had a short period of time though. Biggie was real tough, but if Biggie was able to produce as much as music as Pop, then we would have really found out who was better.
Nobody, you can't do that because nobody could produce that type of music, man.
Yeah, it's still
what?
Nah, Pop Pop of the class
argument was right though.
My argument was right because
if Biggie was able to,
Pop got like 97 albums, bro.
That's what he's saying. So he's saying if Biggie was able to produce that,
nobody could do that. That died in that span. Nobody could do that in the 6-year span, bro.
If Biggie had the time to produce that type of music,
if Trinidad James had the time to produce that type of music,
no.
Listen, there's certain cats
go on all of my podcasts. Go on all of my damn joint.
I'm gonna give you.
Don't believe in this.
It's just too much because you got, Nas and Jay-Z. They deserve their flowers. And before we go, I want y'all to hear a verse because y'all said this table. This is on God Did. This is what Jay-Z said.
Oh,
let me see.
You can bring up the goat. It's okay.
We're gonna go back.
Get this shot.
Me and Loro talk about how we slang dope. Now the weed
Listen to
stores,
what he
can you
say about
believe
the
this
cat.
time? I put my hustle on the floors, can you believe this guy? Then we said, fuck it, took the dope public. Fuck the mud, they got a face
It's a very important thing to listen to. Music gives you gems all the time.
Here you go, right here.
I'm at the cap table, what the splits is. Not that cap table, boy, we live this.
He said, I'm at the cap table, what the splits is. Before we go, explain that to me to what Jay-Z just said. He just said, I'm at the cap table, what the splits is.
I'm at the cabin table. How this get divided up?
You get what I'm saying? He ain't with the capping. He at a cap table.
Right.
He want the splits.
I like when he also said he went from the corner boys to the corner office, because above all things, what we want to make sure that everybody walks away with today, from the music to the lyrics to the conversations to the money to the growth to building your own table, the real attitude is it's evolution. You have to grow and you have to change.
You have to grow.
One of the most ignorant statements that I always say, people say, is that I'm still me, I've never changed. If you have not changed, you have not grown, because life will change you. Life experiences will change you. People change, people grow, people move, life happens. So it's something to continuously understand and definitely make sure that we constantly pay attention to. That's why we wanted to make sure we had this conversation today. It's always a big thing about us making money. Y'all, right now, we're in a time right now where this recession, this situation that we're all experiencing, everybody's
The depression
table,
is coming, bro.
everybody's table is not going
get
to
ready.
feed you.
Yeah, it ain't the
So
recession.
you're
it's the
going to
depression.
have to come to a place that you are building your own. We want to certainly right now close out. We've definitely gone on tonight for over our normal time, but the information we gave, we certainly hope that we blessed a lot of people. We hope that everyone understands the importance of going online and making sure that you utilize your time online, not just to watch others, but to learn, to use it as an educational tool.
Watch CTS.
We hope that you understand to
CTS,
go
salute.
and make sure you know to get your right
Appreciate the love.
paperwork, to register your businesses if you want to do a business. If you are in the 9-to-5 world, there's still people who can give you mentors, jobs that can give you different things that help you become a better leader. So you can go from an analyst to a director, from a director to a CFO, CEO, whatever you want to do to ensure that you're building that comfort level that you need. But the importance of it right now is that we're in a world that other people's tables are going to start to crumble, unfortunately. And if you don't take the gifts that are in you to build your own, to ensure that your family is secure, it's going to be a very different world for us very soon coming out. So please be sure that you are utilizing what you're thinking about. Make sure that right now, while you are working, you are saving, because when these houses start to change and the market makes a shift, get you a moment, because land is the one thing they're not building no more of. Either get it or miss it, but it's not coming more. And you don't have to just look at the land in South Carolina. Walt Disney looked at land in Florida, and by the time they realized what he was doing when he was paying 25 cents an acre, the man was done. And right now, his grandkids are rich, because our grandkids are going to Disney. We giving them the dream and they living off of it. The reality is there's a dream in all of us, and you got to figure out what you need to do to live off of it. So we are glad to be back. We certainly want to make sure that we give the conversations, and we also give out the flowers to those who are doing stuff right now. If you have a trunk or treat that you want to go to, there is one on October the 29th that if you want to take your children to it, we certainly ask that you go out, take your kids to that and have a good time, because above all things, kids are only kids for a certain amount of time. That 18 years passes you real fast. So even if you don't do anything else, sacrifice that one moment to make a memory. If you are looking and going into the holidays and you want to give back, we certainly ask that you consider the Friendsgiving dinner that is being hosted by KP Catering. They are going to give back and make sure that the community has a Thanksgiving dinner so that we do something for the homeless. So if you want to do a donation, the information is currently on your screen, or you can do something with donating food. Reach out to Tamika and you can get that information from her. We also have it here. We'll post it on our social media site so you can get those datas. Of course, we are big supporters of the Joe Foundation. There is a turkey drive coming up. You have the information on your screen to do the Joe Foundation. Adams. You can cash up or you can donate a turkey. So we certainly want you to take care of that.
We got 10 turkeys on CTS.
We got all kinds right now. I know that he recently did a raffle to donate for a family to do something with. You can get a family pack there. The reason we show you different things,
right now, yo.
And we're talking about go boo or vote as well. So the last one that we mentioned on there for a moment was for you to be able to take your family to the fair, and there's a family pack there. But All Kind is also a place that does a lot of great things with giving food back and different things for children. So if you want to give back to the community, reaching out to Alex with All Kind is a great option. Go Boo or Vote is a very important thing right now. Of everything that we just said and we just discussed, it is voting season. And this is not the presidential election. This is something that's coming up regarding the elections locally. So, Hodge, you mentioned that you did a bid, or we're talking about right now, we're at the conference space and we are working with Tamika Washington, who is running in the next election. But these are situations where you determine who's going to be making the decisions for educating your children. This is where we discuss who our governor is. We look up online and we don't like what we hear, but if you don't vote to make it change, then you're just sitting there going to deal with it again. This is where we pick some of the bigger things that impact our court dates, impact our decisions of what's happening in our kids' schools. If you do not like it, then you got to get out to change it. Make sure your friends are registered to vote. Make sure that you're registered to vote, and then not just register, but go out and execute it. If you need to register, that's available online too. All of the things that we talked about today are different things that are going to help each and every one of us, from voting to donating to give back to business to building to loving to generational wealth to breaking generational curses and creating a new wavelength. But if you don't take advantage of the information that's given to you, then the only person you can blame in the end is yourself.
Okay, Hodges, with that said, you are our guest. Sis, thank you for all the information and everything that's coming up. Hell of a closing. Hell of a closing. She's the best. We just want you to know that we want you to leave the audience with any word of advice to help them get on the grind.
One thing to say.
Oh, all right. The Biden administration, they offering, kickback towards loans. So another inflation is coming. So get ready. Anytime the presidency has something to offer, there's something behind it. So get ready for inflation. Just build yourself up. Figure out ways of streams of income. They got startup businesses running for $500. Like I said, catch my man Green with the 9-to-5 book so you can understand that. Understand what an IRA is. And at the end of the day, if South Carolina can build a team and get off that I stuff, man, we really can make moves. Like, you got so many rappers. You got so many trappers. You got so many, business-minded people. You got so many, especially for the rappers, though. But we can't build a mountain because there's always this this iron team. Nah, man, see past that. Absolutely. Like, if your organization can meet, let's use Crips and Bloods, for instance. No disrespect to Crips and Bloods. Salute to both of y'all. But if we can take both of them organizations and bring them together, you know how much money that is? Stop playing. Stop playing. You know how much money that is bringing Crips and Bloods together? You know how much money that is bringing all the promoters together? You know who's going to follow them? We the people, because that's what we do. We come to these parties because of the people who's throwing them, the love that we have for them. So if we can align them to start something, to start a movement, of course, that's how Atlanta is on. That's how New York is on. Them the states who shot us out because they know the money here.
They love the
They
South.
bring whatever here
They
to
love
South. In all them songs y'all hear South Carolina. But we need to start our own. We need to start our own industry.
Speaking of parties, though, y'all, real quick before we go, Brunch and Bubbly, October 30th.
Brunch and Bubbly, the finale, October
be there.
30th. We going for Benedict Homecoming, South Carolina. USC.
Appreciate y'all.
We've had 20-something shows, and every show I have to tell both of them, stop. Because it's 1 hour and 37 minutes and we about to go. This is a good and if I don't, two. He gonna shout out half of Oakland. He gonna come back out to this.
We're back.
Salute.
Guess who's Bizak?
Let us pray.
Appreciate them.
It is in Jesus' name that we close out this show right now.
You don't need to believe in Jesus, but you got a Jesus piece.
I'm sick of you. We thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Be safe. Shout out
as we come back
Hodges.
next week, and we are going to bring back another guest. We're going to have another discussion about building your own table. We're going to talk about voting next week. So we'll have Jazz Johnson and Alonzo with Jazz Kenzader.
Who to vote?
Kenzader, man. Hey, Kenzader let me go into school and speak at Columbia High, and they had like this big brawl in there, and me and him had to break the brawl up. but I got much respect and love for his movement, man, because he really cared, man. Kinzada,
Next
much
week,
love,
they're
bro.
going to come in and we're going to talk about the candidates to vote for. One of the biggest things we don't do as a people is we don't educate ourselves on where our vote is going to do. So next week, tune in if you are
Education.
prepared to understand about early voting, if you want to know where to early vote, if you want to know who is running so you can make a decision that's educated and informed of who to vote for. I'm going to go.
This was an hour. This is an hour and 40 minutes. We produced a movie for y'all tonight. Season 2 is
Solid.
back, baby. We'll see y'all next Wednesday.
Good night.
Faith, believe. Salute.
Surprised you ain't say hold up.
Hold up.